Welcome back. I'm making some stuffed mushrooms with two ingredients. I haven't got very many because we don't want to eat very many at the moment, but you'll get the idea. I've got some quail eggs and they're absolutely gorgeous. And I should be able to show you how to open them. And some, because they're actually not as easy as they look. You'd think they're just like, but they're not. Fromage. This is a feta cheese, and I will be using some of that as an alternative to if you can't find or you don't like quail eggs. Quail eggs are a bit pricey, I must admit. So the first thing I'm going to do is to show that I've taken out the stalks and I've got the onion here. So I put those into a frying pan with a little olive oil. All the onion goes in, and these stalks of the mushrooms. If yours comes stalk free, and sometimes they are packed like that, I know, then what you need to do is to save a mushroom and chop it up, because you want the filling to have a bit of mushroom flavour. Now the stalks generally are quite woody compared to the general tender unctuousness of your mushroom caps. So chopping them up and frying them is a good way to not waste them. They also can be added to soups, but it does seem very sad to put them in the bin when they do taste very good. Now we're going to just gently fry these. You can add flavouring if you want, but I don't particularly want to at the moment. There we are. I think I'll just, because they're all tiny little bits, this is quite a helpful little gadget. Whilst these are all cooking, I'm going to prepare these. And you need to take a little bit of oil, I'm using olive oil, and brush it over them. And then they actually cook better when they're in the oven. And if they're not all evenly covered, it doesn't matter. Just think of when you buy a pizza. They have been oiled, or they're put cheese on, something with oil in them. It just makes them taste better. Now, this is an ideal recipe for your vegetarian friends and family. Even if you're a meat eater, by now you'll know plenty of people who are not. But they make dainty, dainty little hors d'oeuvre things. Really dainty. And they look nice. I think if food looks nice, it helps. There we are. And there we are. That will just make them very, very nice indeed. Isn't cooking a nice thing to be doing? It's very relaxing and it's pure alchemy. You take some very basic things and just transform them magically into something wonderful. And you can take the same things and produce something very different. I think that's just amazing. Now we just turn those right down and let them soften, well soften. The idea is that you can poke them easier if they're soft into these little holes. Okay, I'm going to push this in like this and squash it down. Squash it down in the middle. And that's the two that I'm going to put the feta cheese in, because not everybody wants an egg. And if you do half and half, you'll please everyone. So I'm going to pop that like that in there. And what do you think on this one? Right, now you've got your two feta cheeses and they will be delightful. So I'm just going to move that one over there. There we are. That makes it easier, doesn't it? Now, let's open up our packaging. Now we want to take a sharp knife, and we're not cutting them in half. We're cutting just about a third up. Now, as you can see, at this point, you need to pull it open. No, I haven't quite cut enough. You're not, can you see how tough the membrane is? There are some special tools for doing this, but you know me. I reckon we can get away with just this. Now, we want to just pop it out. There it is, popped out. Take another one. Some people tap them on glass, but of course if you tilt it down you can't see what you're doing, can you? So that's why I think this is probably the easier of the options. Right, I'm peeling it off a little bit, and there it goes. You can't say it's a difficult thing to do. Now, what you can do if you want, and I think it's quite a nice thing to do, you can chop a little onion and put over the top. You could add ciboulette if you want, which is, what is it? Chives. I haven't got any fresh chives, but it just sort of looks pretty. And if you wanted to flavour your mushroom more, you can add soy sauce to your mix in here. So there are other options, and a lot of people would want salt, and you certainly can add salt, but I prefer to let people at the table add their own salt. And yes, I know it then doesn't become homogeneous, but you do get that little bite of salt when it goes in the mouth, which I think is nicer really. So there you are. So I'm putting them in at 160. It is a warm oven because I've just taken something out, and you can see the size, but when they come out they will be quite considerably smaller and cuter. And we're going to give them the 20 minutes. So I'm just taking these out. They've had 10 minutes too long because we didn't time them. Well, we did time them, but we didn't notice. And here we are. You can see these are soft and delicious. They have withstood the 30 minutes, but these have gone a bit hard. But they will be fine. But these, you can see that they would have been nice had they not been quite so brutally cooked. Anyway, you'll get yours right, so you'll enjoy them.